very successful career for the last 25 years, especially when I was running the consulting firm, working with dozens of CEOs, helping them achieve some of the great success, and also mentoring them and working with them in terms of transforming their companies. And when I decided to retire, I was looking how to give back to society. And in this search, I came across an organization in Atlanta called SIBF, Society of International Business Fellows. And through that, I went to Middle East to attend and facilitate the Middle Eastern Leadership Academy in Abu Dhabi. My wife and I both facilitated. That was a turning point because I knew then that I found something that would be very impactful for the young leaders, and I could use some of my training for the last 25 years to help the region that I come from, South and Southeast Asia. And that's how this whole idea of Southeast Leadership Academy was born, and it has been a tremendous success for the last 6 years, and we are about to launch our 7th academy. There have been several defining moments, but one that comes to my mind happened a few decades ago. I was Vice President of Operations for American Standard, one of the division of American Standard, and I was in a massive turnaround of this division. 3 months into the job, I received a call from our corporate headquarters that they had hired Alexander Proudfoot to help us. And I said, fine, any help we can get, that would be great. So this gentleman came in and set up an office for 8 consultants who were working with us. And 3 months later, he told us that they had saved us $1 million. I asked our controller to find out, is it true or not? So he told me not only we didn't have savings of $1 million, actually our expenses have gone up by $600,000 because he had to accrue $200,000 a month for them. So I asked the partner of this firm, prove to me that you have actually saved us money, because I don't see it. He said, you're playing with danger because this could cost you your job. And I said, no, I am the one who's paying for it. I don't care who hired you. You have to prove to me that what you've delivered is actually true. And he became very upset. So I took the check, tore it into pieces, and I called our security chief to escort him and his consultant out of the building. And then I looked over our controller. He was really scared. He said, you know, this person knows the vice president. He's a very good friend of his. I said, okay, don't worry. I'll take the heat and don't worry about it. You will not be responsible for this. Then I went back to the office and quickly wrote a resignation letter, and I kept waiting for the call from headquarters. Well, 2-3 days passed by, no one called. 4th day, I got a call from one of my counterparts in another division. He said, Anand, thank you very much because you had fired them. We have also gotten rid of this company. And that really confirmed in my mind that you have to take bold steps and not be afraid of the consequences. And that became one of the defining moments in the company that I started a few years ago. One of our core values was to guarantee satisfaction unconditionally, because I wanted to be a consulting firm that will always deliver what we said and never back off from that. Well, it all started when I started my consulting company in 1991, and as we were in the transformation business, I found out that most people were quite afraid of making fundamental change. So in this context, we decided to work only with those leaders who were bold and wanted to make a change. And even in that case, I found out that to support these people, I had to constantly mentor and coach and facilitate them so that they were not afraid. Because when you talk about fundamental change, it is scary. It requires a lot of courage, but it also requires some sort of a support from outsiders who can assure you that world is okay. So that was a very, very satisfying experience for me, and I found that in mentoring and facilitating and coaching, you not only give, but you get a lot back because you get self-satisfaction. And that's why when I was thinking of retiring, I said I want to continue doing that, but do that with young people, not for profit, but to give back to society. And that's where my passion was developed, and that's what I love to do, and I continue doing that right now. Well, the difference between millennials and the baby boomers is not fundamental. It is more in the way the millennials were brought up. They were brought up in an age where access to information was very easy. They are much more savvy in terms of their surroundings. They're much more socially conscious. At the same time, millennials are much more interested in life-work balances as opposed to the baby boomers who were more focused on work and sacrificed much of the life joys. So I find that is the big difference. However, because of the digital age that is coming upon us in the last 1 to 2 decades, the learning process, the process of assimilation for the millennials is much simpler than it was for the baby boomers. So it provides in a way a challenge that you have to stay ahead of the curve. You can't really keep talking about the same old things. You have to be contemporary, you have to be engaged, and you have to be environmentally conscious. And once you do that, then the differences disappear. The challenges of transformation, challenges of leadership, then became very similar. Well, since I was involved for the last 25 years in transformation of the company, this is an all-engaging assignment. You are not just working 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, you engage all the time. And that requires a very strong relationship with your spouse. And I was very fortunate that Anu is very supportive and has always supported whatever I wanted to do. And when I was thinking of retiring, I was looking for something that we could do together. And I was absolutely thrilled when first she decided to facilitate with me in Middle East, and then we decided together to start Southeast Asia Leadership Academy. And in the first year, she traveled with me to the region, which we were away for at least 4 decades, for 4 trips, 1 to 2 months long, going from city to city, trying to find people to be on the board, to be facilitators, as well as students. And without her support, I couldn't have done what I've done so far. And she's always there with me. She's the rock that I depend on. And I think it is very important to have a very supportive, inspirational, and someone who's understanding what you're trying to do, because whenever you're trying to get on a mission that is larger than life, you can't do it alone. And she's been that rock for me.